What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Stand Tall. It is September 11th, a day that we will not forget. So let's go over here to wrapping up the 9 situations. Not today, but we are coming close. So we've only had a few more verses until we move on to the next one. We might go back to chapter 10, just depending on about where we're at in the month. So Verse 63, on the day that you take up your command, block the frontier passes, destroy the official tallies, and stop the passage of all emissaries. The alternate translation says, Master Sun says, so on the day war is declared, borders are closed, passports are torn up, and emissaries are not let through. Zhang Yu says, once top-level assessments have been made and military strategy has been developed, then the borders are sealed and passports are revoked, not letting messengers through lest there be information leaks. So that's kind of, that does go back to before modern times with the sort of open borders that we have these days. But, you can think of it similar if you're in business or on the battlefield of the sports arena. You don't want to have any information leaks. And so when war is declared, right? So on the day war is declared, I like the original one better. Let's see. You take your command, block the passes, destroy the tallies, and stop the passage of all emissaries. So it's like on the day that you take command, do it hard, do it fast, take control, and then we go from there. So let's go over to September 11th in the Daily Stoic. And let's see here. So the Daily Stoic is by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. Has this awesome bookmark included with it, which I love books that have one of those. Anyway, September 11th. What would less look like? Let us get used to dining out without the crowds, to being a slave to fewer slaves, to getting clothes only for their real purpose, and to living in more modest quarters. Seneca, on the Tranquility of Mind, 9.3b. Interesting. So that's kind of like the opposite of warfare in a lot of ways. That's more warfare on the mind. Soldiers when they travel light, right? Um, they only carry the clothes for their real purpose. Um, and their modest living quarters are literally wherever they stop marching for the night. And it's definitely very modest even to this day, these outposts and such. The writer, Stefan Zweig, known for his Stoic-esque wisdom, was at one point one of the best-selling authors in the world, only to have his life destroyed by the rise of Hitler. It's sad, yet timeless rhythm of history. Politicians are run out of office for taking a stand we later recognize as courageous. Countless hardworking and prosperous couples have their money stolen by financial crooks. Someone is accused of a crime but not vindicated until years later. At any moment, we may have toppled. At any moment, we may be toppled from our perch and made to do with less money, less recognition, less access, less resources. Even the lesses that come with age, less mobility, less energy, less freedom. But we can prepare for that in some way by familiarizing ourselves with what that might feel like. Ask yourself, is this the condition I so feared? Just kind of like the last one from the 10th. On what One way to protect yourself from the swings of fate and from the emotional vertigo that can result is by living within your means now. So today we can try to get used to having and surviving on less so that if we are ever forced to have less, it would not be so bad. I like this reflection just because solely on the fact of like morality and ethics. If you and it also depends too. If you go out and earn your own fortune, like Warren Buffett, I mean, that's like one thing. That man does a lot of reading, does a lot of research, and has well earned it. But if you're working for somebody and you're commissionable, I guess, and you can make a lot of money by doing a lot of things that are less than ethical, and then you get to a certain position in life to where you need to continue doing unethical things, and it doesn't sit with you, it's going to tear you apart from the inside. Um, and even and like that's why it's important is because look at all these people who grow old and grow wise and regret a lot of what they've done. And so I think living within your means doesn't even really have to be, have a simple house, have a simple car. I mean, we've done very well as a family. We don't dine out a lot. We don't, wifey doesn't go to the nail salon. She paints her own toenails, paints her own nails. And I guess the point is, we haven't done anything. We have a surplus, and we worked hard for it, and we didn't do anything unethical to get that surplus. And I think the framework of the mindset that entails is essentially like, I've been in a position before where I could be unethical in certain ways. I guess, for instance, I mean, I can only speak to the financial services industry, because before I became an electrician and left the white collar world for the blue collar world and started making so much more money than I ever believed possible. And then applying that white collar knowledge to my personal life and investments and things like that has made me very successful, but it's been with a lot of discipline. And this kind of, what I'm trying to say is that there's this there's a reason that there's a stereotype that like rich people did it, like got rich by taking advantage of it. And a lot of times that can be true. um like he says here, financial crooks. and and I think of someone is accused of a crime but not vindicated until years later. This doesn't have to be something that is hardcore, like, goes to trial, you're in the court of law, etc. I mean, it could be something like what happened to me when I was not a freshman in college, but a junior in college. And there was an incoming freshman girl at a sorority who had snuck into a bar, which I just so happened to go to frequently because it was right across the street from my fraternity house. um, Literally right across the street. Like, we have a story of a brother who got public intoxication because he danced in the street in front of a squad car on the way back, just being goofy, and didn't realize it was a police officer. So like, that's like how close it is. It's literally like diagonally across the street, like not even. It's so that kind of thing happens. And these people who work really hard and or not work hard and cut corners and get to where they are unethically, then they have to continue being unethical to stay at the top, right? So then you see stories that permeate the world, the Weinstein situation in Hollywood, not the Good brothers, Eric and um, Brett, whose book with his wife Heather Hang is fantastic. I mean, they've got a couple, but the one that came out post 2020 was awesome. I know this reflection's going a little bit longer, but I do think that, if we're really trying to tie together the art of war in the sense of, on the day that you take up command, block the frontier passes, destroy the official tallies, and stop the passes of all emissaries, the day that all your hard work is for nothing, the day that someone accused you of a crime, the day that a financial crook steals from you, right? These things, when you get toppled from your perch, the day that you have to retake command of your life, because that's essentially what happens, is you've lost control because you haven't been in command. You haven't been in command of something morally, ethically, whatever. And of course, there's outside actors, right? Like, the guy that could have been there instead of Hitler, the Stefan Zweig, I guess. Um, I'm not quite sure what he means by that. But when these things happen, you have to take up command and you have to shore up immediately. You have to use these art of war principles on your own mind, right? You can't let any doubt seep in. You can't, just because the official, like, if you're found guilty of a crime that you didn't commit, destroy the official word. Your innocence. You're gonna have to do certain things and follow these certain tactics. And now, what kind of ground are you on? And that's where we stand tall, and we look back and we review and we reflect and find a way to overcome with that stoic mindset of the obstacle is the path forward. So see you guys on the next one.